Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Shane Dixon, and I have my first guest here with me today, Jackson Rogers. Welcome, Jackson.
Thank you for having me.
And again, this is basically an opportunity for me to interview teachers, parents, students, and sit down with them in what I call the hot seat. So again, thank you for being willing to be my first hot seat victim, so to speak. And let me go ahead and just begin by asking you to share a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. So I was born and raised in Arizona. I grew up in a small town in eastern Arizona, Round Valley. It's called Eager, but it goes Round Valley, takes in both the towns.
I've been to Eager.
It's my 7th year at ALA. I absolutely love being here. I joined the military when I was 17 years old, about 3 months after 9/11.
Wow.
And between my junior and senior year, I went to boot camp, and an experience that just completely changed my life. And after that, I served a mission for my church for 2 years in Serbia. And I came back, I went to ASU, got my bachelor's degree in political science. And I had these big dreams of being a diplomat and working around the world and just traveling. And I'm glad that kind of fell through, and I'm where I'm at right now. So.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because I would describe you as something of the diplomat of the classroom. And you certainly have this way with students that is beloved throughout our entire campus. So, well, Jackson, obviously we want to highlight to our parents just how awesome our teachers really are. So I wanted to ask you, what is it that you think about ALA that really matters?
You know, a lot of people ask me, friends, I live in North Gilbert, but they always get asked, like, would you send your kids to ALA? And it's kind of a hard question to answer, because I don't know, where their friends are at. How are they comfortable with their friends? Are they making good choices where they're at? But the more I'm here, the more I see kids who are just looking for those friends, or looking for purpose or meaning. And I like the environment that ALA provides those kids to be able to find that. I had a young man in my classroom just this today for lunch, and he just asked if he could come talk to me. And everything inside of me wanted to say, I just need a break. I need a break. I don't have a prep period. So, but I said, yeah, sit down. And so we started talking. He goes, I need friends. Yeah. And I said, well, what's going on? Like, what is it that, well, I came from Castile, and the friends I had there were not really good friends. And I made some poor choices, and I'm just struggling finding friends here. And so we had a really good conversation, but it kind of hurt a little bit just to see a kid who was, he was hurting, he was struggling. But I feel like ALA is a place where he could find good friends to kind of get him away from the influences that he had at Castile or another school.
Right. Well, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. I want to kind of move into, what do you think about your own background? You have a military background that kind of maybe syncs up with the raise values and the dress code values. Oh, let's get really tricky here. Let's talk about dress code really quick. What is it about that also that matters to you?
Another conversation I had today, some of my kids were like, why can't we just learn these lessons on our own? Like, why is it that we have to have a dress code? Why can't I have my phone out? Why can't I have my hair long?
Good questions.
And I said, there was a time I was 17 years old and I went to basic training for the Army, and my life completely changed. I mean, I was on a path, and I came to a fork in the road, and I'm so glad that I joined the military, because I needed that. I had a father who was very discipline oriented. I got 5 brothers. He didn't really mess around, but there was ways that he couldn't get to me. But as soon as I got to boot camp, and those drill instructors taught me a very valuable lesson of just self-discipline, doing really, really little things. And once I figured out that they weren't making me do those little things because they disliked me or they're just trying to be mean, they were doing it so they could teach me that if I'm doing those little things, that the bigger things in life, I'm always going to be doing those, because I'm not skipping steps. And so that's why I love a dress code. That's why I love that we have rules that they have to follow, and they have to learn self-discipline. I realize that not every kid is going to come to school with their shirt tucked in or their hair in dress code. But I love the fact that we expect that of them. We have higher expectations. They're not just going to come to school and say, oh, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to put my AirPods in. I'm going to watch my Netflix or watch my TikTok.
Yeah.
But we have expectations, and we want their phones away. We want to engage them. And it's really difficult to engage them if they're on their phones, or they're just, I don't know, they just show up to school and it looks like they just climbed out of bed.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that we have that.
I love that. I love the idea that when you pay attention to little things, bigger things can resolve themselves. I also love the idea that when you're paying attention to those things that matter, it just kind of raises the level of expectation, right? So we have high expectations here, but we also, that shows that we believe in our students.
Yes.
So I just love the idea that we believe in our students, we have high values, and we're not going to shy away from that.
100%. And I've taught it in Mesa Public Schools. I don't know if I could ever go back to that because it's very difficult. I mean, I had no control. I'd say, hey, can you please get off your phone? And they'd just look at me like, who are you to tell me to get off my phone? And that was 7 or 8 years ago. And it's even worse now. I mean,
right.
Kids are getting phones at younger ages, and there's just more apps and just more things to distract them. So, yeah, it makes our jobs a lot easier.
Yeah.
But it also sometimes makes our jobs a little bit more difficult because we're constantly having to get after some of the same kids about, hey, just cut your hair. Hey, tuck your shirt in. Hey, get a patch up. What do I got to wear a patch? It's just because there's rules and there's expectations. Same, you're going to have a job. You're going to go to wherever, and they're going to say, tuck your shirt in, comb your hair, wear an apron, do something. And you're not going to bat an eye at it because you had higher expectations and you already know how to operate in that type of system.
Right. Well, let me just ask one more question. Let's open this up to parents, teachers, and students. What do you think they should know about our standards here? What do you wish that you could convey to them? Because how long have you been here now?
7 years.
7 years. So you've been here long enough to know that this system works and that it matters. So what would your message or your bottom line be to them?
I think sometimes we forget that we're on the same team. We have the same goal in mind. We want your kids to have the best educational experience possible. But that doesn't just mean like the material, right? Learning math or science or English. It's also about we're trying to develop good humans, good people that they can go out in the world and say, hey, you know what? Like I learned a lot more than just facts in school, right? I learned how to be respectful. I learned how to resolve conflict. I learned how to communicate with adults, like people who are older than me. And so I just, sometimes you get kids, they come to school and I'm like, hey, why are you wearing sweats? Well, yeah, my parents told me that I shouldn't wear these and I was probably going to get dress coded. And I'm thinking, well, why did the parents just say, go upstairs and change the sweats? Because that would have made it easier for the teacher. We could have focused more on just being in class and learning. And then oftentimes, you know, I'll see a kid pull out their phone, stick on their phone. I'm like, hey, get off your phone. Oh, but Mr. Rogers, it's just my mom. My mom's texting me. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, your mom knows you're in school. You're okay. Put your phone away. Right. And so we all have the same goal. We all want the same thing. And I know, like, I think we make a lot of assumptions like, oh, the parents are just not helping us. They're just letting their kids do whatever they want. But I know that's not true. I know a lot of parents are behind the scenes and there's a constant battle with their kids. Like, hey, put away your phone. I don't want you on your phone all night. And we're trying to do the same thing here.
We all have that same battle. All of us collectively. And
it is. We walk the hallways and you probably are going to hear me yell at some kid about get off your phone. It's not because I don't like your kid. It's because I care about your kid. And I want to enforce the rules fairly, but I also want to teach them like there's bigger things here than just that phone.
Well, and let me speak in your behalf. I've known you now since I've arrived here for this short time, and I can say that the students love you and that the discipline works. That when we are saying, and it's not yelling, it's just us saying, hey guys, we're with you.
Yeah.
And this is something that matters to us. And I know it matters to the parents. And I'm so glad that we're able to have someone like you with us here at ALA. So Jackson Rogers, thank you for being on the hot seat.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time.